Hello. There you are. You're welcome. Nobody's watching this. Anywho's. Yeah, today I'm going to be talking about too bright. Uh, the Echo House in Highland Park. I lived there for about 2 years. About 15 years ago, it was me and various artists. Artists would come and go. I first had a roommate for like a year, and then about every year I had a new roommate. And amazing. I mean, Highland Park at the time, it was called the Hole. If like, subscribe, share, if you want to support the podcast, description or Zelle, you know what to do. So yeah, Highland Park, the Hole. So let me explain the demographics, if you will. So if you're on, if you're in Highland Park and you're going north on Figueroa, right before you get to York, on the left will be like a library. And on the right, I think it's Arroyo Glen or Arroyo Seco, Arroyo something. You take that right, you start going down into the hole, which used to be a really bad, like gang infested, you know, Google it. But yeah, go down there. I don't want to tell exactly, but I was on Echo Street. If you're there, you can kind of find it. And the Echo House is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, pretty much destroyed even before I got there. I mean, broken windows and yeah, I had to fix it. I had to fix it up as much as I could. But Highland Park now it's and even then it's hip. There's a lot of like hip musicians from Highland Park. But back in 2004, 2005, maybe 2005 when I moved in, it was still kind of rough. But honestly, pardon me, honestly, one of the best places I've ever lived. So much fun. We had so many parties and another thing I want to say, look, this was 15 years ago. I'm not like the wild man artist outlaw that I used to be, right? But yeah, a lot of good times, a lot of people coming and going. We were always, if it wasn't a party, like almost every night we'd be on the patio, at least like barbecuing and having beers. We had like 2 couches out there. Many times I'd come home and my roommate at the time, Matt, there'd be a party. I mean, Matt was then I had a guy named Fly. Yeah, Fly. How you doing, Fly? Same thing. I'd come home and there would be like a party going on. But the Fly, nothing compared to me and Matt. Like Matt and I were dedicated to having a good time and doing art. A lot of art shows we were doing. Infusion Gallery, Cannibal Flower. I can't even name them. A lot. And so I loved it. I mean, I had some neighbors and they were super cool. And like one night I was just hanging out and I knock on my door and they're like, "Hey, Charlie, we got all these like vintage, like arcade games, like full size, I mean, they were beat at one side of the one so I bought a Donkey Kong and one side of it was just, there wasn't even any graphics or but they got it on a dolly, pulled it in my apartment, put it in my house, the Echo House. And then his name was Ricky. He showed me he took off the back and showed me how to like lower the volume, use the screen, you know what I mean? Put it on like no quarter mode or whatever. And many a night, just like, "Hey, I'm having people over. What are you doing? We're gonna have a Donkey Kong competition." Bam. There you go. I mean, people almost busting through, getting mad though, and like punching the screen. I was like, "Oh, come on." But yeah, the living off beer and street tacos, basically. And I was the like best shape I've ever been in. My favorite street tacos were legit street tacos. Say there's a difference. There's like a street taco place that's like actually got a business and coding and zone and whatever. Then there's like literally like street tacos where like people were like got coolers and cooking on like an aluminum tray. Those are sometimes some of the best food I've ever eaten was street food. LA street food. You gotta be careful though. You gotta be careful. But yeah, La Estrella. I might eat there in the morning and at, like I just grabbed like 2 asada tacos, no salsa, just bam. Just onion and cilantro. And that was my routine for years. And there's people, you buy avocados, and there's a lot of cool, like reasonable stores around, 99-cent stores and stuff like that. And speaking of the 99-cent store in Highland Park, they sold booze. You could get like 3 beers for $1. So, $2, you got a 6-pack. And they used to sell, so they would sell like, beers for, 3 beers for $1. And they had these tray like grills. They were small, and they were like that thin. And I think those were like $3. So what we would do is just like get a bunch of beer, go grab one of those, grills, and whatever we could find at the dollar store, a hot dog, sausage, whatever we could find, and some buns, and have fun. We hosted MySpace barbecues, which were like a nightmare. We shouldn't have did it. And I didn't totally understand that like thousands of people would like descend on the house. But, and we did it again. That's how stupid and dumb we were. And this is also going to be a series because there's so much to talk about the Echo House that I'm going to be, it's going to be a talking about it a lot. But, and again, I'll say this again, I'm not the, I'm older now, I'm 51 years old. I'm not the crazy wild man artist that I used to be. But I had a lot of fun, never hurt anybody. But one of the times so you're living in Echo Park, and you just kind of, get your groove. I was used to living in Hollywood, and Echo Park's a little different. A lot of people wouldn't even go there. Like, hell no, I ain't going to Echo Park. Now it's this house. When I first got the house, it's like 2005, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, $600. $600. And over the years, it only got up to 800. Now there's no telling what that house is for rent. If it's still there, they might have mowed it down and made a McMansion or something. Who knows? A lot of gentrification going on. But I settled in, and I ended up, everybody like me, I was cool with people. You got to do what you got to do, but you just settle in. You're in a new area. And some of my roommates, they wouldn't, I dive right in. Hey, I'm at, when in Rome. And one of the things that they would do was there was always something going on Figueroa, especially like the further east you go, kind of like towards downtown. And there was this area on the weekends where they had like a car, and they had car shows, but they were literally like just cars parked on the street for sale, like cheap cars, old beat up car, cheap. And I needed a car. So I go down there, and I buy a Mazda 626 for $700. And I do the old LA street trick, which is you basically buy it. And I hate to admit this, but nobody's watching this. Who cares? You buy it, don't even register, insure it, small, nothing. Just drive it until if you get pulled over, jump out and run. I know that's stupid, right? It's just, but hey, I'm just being honest. And and I think it's kind of funny. I'm so lucky to be alive, believe me. And ask if you knew anybody out in LA. Yeah, I was like, dude, he should have been dead a million times. But this one time, so I buy this Mazda, and I was managing an art gallery in Burbank. It was like a art gallery, salon, whatever. It was like 3 buildings, and they just kind of broke a hole, made, anyway. Managing the art gallery, Highland Park to Burbank is a little bit of a rub. Even driving, even without traffic, you're going to, a good half an hour, 45 minutes. Without traffic, it might be an hour, hour and a half, 2 hour, So I bought this car, and I didn't have it that long. And I'm going to work, and exactly where this is at. So you hit the 210, take Figueroa all the way to get to the 210. 210 goes into the 134. And then there's this, when you start hitting like Burbank area, like the 134 turns into the 5, which is it's just kind of like a, all these highways hitting, and that's where the traffic kind of slows down and you get stuck. And so when you get through that, to the right is where Disney starts. And then to the left is like the Hollywood Hills graveyard. It's a really nice graveyard, huge, megastar, Michael Jackson and all those. Back then he went, but so I'm going to work completely sober. I was, just, hey, getting to work, probably 9 a.m. And a car pulls up to me. It's somehow like the movie Vacation. A car pulls up and they're like, "You're on fire, you're on fire." I'm like, "What?" Like, I look over and I'm like, "What's going on?" And beside me, out of the glove compartment, comes this billowing smoke, like thick and fast. I look behind me and it's just, so I pull over on the road. I don't know if it's the 134 turns into I don't even know. When you're going into Burbank, whatever, it's hard to keep all those highways. I pull over and literally, like, again, you think these things happen to other people. The car's on fire, like, barely got out of it. And I'm standing there and people are pulling over. And this is like I don't know how many lanes, 4, 5, 6 lane. Then there's like a wall. And then, so I'm standing there and I'm like, man, I got to get the fuck out of here. But beside me, there ain't nowhere, I can't, it's a big, and then there's I couldn't go, I had to go through the traffic. So it's just, and there so I just took off because I knew, I was like, dude, you're gonna get arrested. I gotta get to work. I don't even care about this car, Dumb me driving an illegal car in LA. So I take off through traffic, just, Frogger, jump the wall. Then I have another 6 lanes to go, jump another wall. And then I'm in like the graveyard, all nice, and so I get on the phone and at the time I call my fiance and she's like, "What? Hey, forget you chew me out later, man. I got to get out of here. Like they're gonna figure out what I did. They're gonna snitch. Like, yeah, he ran to the graveyard." And they did, because here comes the graveyard security. Like, it was just, so I had to hide behind, like, these are big gravestones, whoever. And then there's like a little bit of, not forest, but tree areas, So my fiance was at work and had to call her sister. She calls my cell phone. "Where are you at?" "I'm in the graveyard. You got to come, Then she calls me again. "I'm in the graveyard. What part are you in?" Because this place is huge. I'm like, "Well, I'm over by, and she finds me because they have like golf carts. The security are looking for me. I run out, I get in the car, and we take off. I forgot I made it to work. I've been a little late. Then I get home and it's just like we're laughing about it on the porch, having beers and like barbecue and chicken wings or whatever. And I don't think it was the next day, but a couple of days later, I get like a knock on the door, and I go into the living room, and it's the sheriff. So if you're in LA, the cops wear like black, black cops. The sheriff, the dudes the serious one, are in OD green, and they wear like bulletproof vests, and they've got like guns across. You don't want to mess with the dudes in green. So I go out there, and they kind of back off the porch. There's a bunch of them. Step out to the your porch. And I honestly thought I was going to jail. They handcuffed me, turned me around, and they have a bag, and it's got like, I guess the car didn't burn all the way up. And in the trunk, I had like a press kit for my music, my band, like I had a CD press kit, it's like this whole phone number, address, all that stuff. They came right to me. "Hey, go, here he is." And I was trying to keep my mouth shut, like, "Oh yeah, I did it," and somehow I didn't. They didn't arrest me. They took the handcuffs off and they ticketed me, and I lost my license for a year, and I got a big fine. It was like thousands of dollars. And the last time I was in LA, in that area on the far side of the highway, that big black kind of half circle burnt into the the asphalt. "That's me. You're welcome." Yeah, tattooed a little bit of LA. Maybe they paved over, but it was still there. It was there forever. Every time I pass it, I'm like, "Yep." And then it just becomes, it's a story. It's funny. Look at you. But living in Highland Park, and also, let me explain. This isn't normal. People go to work and, I get it. I'm an artist. I'm not, got a little bit too much Van Gogh in me, people wouldn't want to live this way, driving around, But in my mind, it's like, look, I'm not robbing anybody. I mean, I'm having fun. I'm engaged. I mean, I got a job. I'm doing art shows. And this particular time in my life, I wasn't in band mode. I was always kind of in band mode, but I was doing more art shows. The whole time that I lived in Highland Park, I didn't do any gigging. I didn't have a band. And that's another thing, is being by then I was just solo. It's hard to keep a band intact when you have to pay for everything and everybody. There's so many opportunities. People will jump ship. Your band gets poached. That's another episode I'll talk about. But a lot of fun at the Echo House. So much fun. People met their wives and, multiple wives. And they've been saying this for years, but supposedly they're writing a book about that. So I hope they do. It'll be a good one. We had so much fun, and my dog Possum, bless her heart, I had Possum forever. And Possum kind of took to it like a duck to water. I mean, the back door, the front door were always open, and Possum was trained. She knew better to, but a couple times, one night she took off with the coyotes, and they came running down the road, and I was like, that's Possum. We had to go get her. Another time, pardon me, at the end of the corner, there was a gang still there. And I can't say much, but there was at the end of the street on the corner, there were, some scary people. So I couldn't find Possum. And I go out in the street and I look down, and every night they would stand underneath the street light, like these gangbanger guys. And there they were with my dog. And I'm yelling, Possum, Possum. And she's like, I had to go down. I had to walk down. And they're like, no, don't go down there. Like, dude, I got to go get my dog. And look, it's like just ripping off the scab. You got to get it done. Don't be mean. Just don't. For one, there's so many of them there. What can I do? Like, hey, Possum, huh? Yeah, she's cool. Yeah. Do you mind if she spends the night because I just got this puppy and I'm house training her, and if she's around a trained dog like Possum, she'll be trained like that. And he's right. Yeah, you can, of course. Sure. And I come back like, where's Possum? I'm like, dude, I'm letting her spend the night with those guys. What am I going to do? And she stayed like a couple of nights, and I knew where she was at. I could see her. I was like, again, what am I going to, start a war? So, like, dude, you're cool. Hey, man, we like you. So we're having a barbecue. Come over. I'm like, no, no, you're coming, All right. And one of their jefes were getting out, El Guapo or somebody, one of the jefes getting out, man, barbecue. So yeah, they descended in the neighborhood, like these, a lot of them. And they're cool. And again, some of these women were beautiful too. Didn't what you think. And they were making some of the bombest food, bro. They had their grills out and they had this bucket, and it was orange juice and garlic and onions and pepper, and they were soaking the chicken in the orange juice and making tacos and the bomb, gourmet deluxe. And the jefe's there, and he's older than he was cool, hey, but it soon got, after we ate and they started drinking, I was like, look, I'm getting out here. My spidey sense, my street wisdom, my knowledge, something's about to pop off. Because they were saying, it's hey, so-and-so swings by, if he swings by, then, it's on. And it's okay. I'm bye. Thanks. I think they even gave me a plate. I'll take a plate with you, man. Charlito, Chewy, go, yay. Nobody at our house would even dare. That's another thing. Like, I don't know if I'm just because I grew up in a small town, I'm a hillbilly. Um, I know a little bit of Spanish, but I just kind of, I, I kind of fit right in. So I go back to my house, and uh, it isn't long when you hear it. It sounds like a gang fight. You know, I look out the front door. I like peek out, and there's just people diving out of windows, and it's just crazy. A lot of people, and then here comes the ghetto birds, the helicopters, and they stay in your house. It was, bro, probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and somehow, like, it got all misconstrued. Like, they saw me walk across the street, and one of the neighborhood were like, "Hey, they ran through that guy's house." So they're like, "Come on, and I go, "Dude, yeah, I went over there and ate barbecue, but I mean, I had nothing to do with it. They didn't run through my house. What am I, a getaway house? Like, yeah, run through my house anytime you need to." And how stupid would that be, you know? But they walked through the house, and good times, good, heartfelt, fuzzy, warm. But and honestly, when you're kind of out of your mind, which, like, I was, I mean, nobody normal. It's not like I wanted to do that. But again, when in Rome, I mean, they had my dog. Oh, and the dog actually turned out to be a cool dog. And she was trained. The other little puppy got trained just hanging out with Possum. And again, if you want to, off the subject, if you want to train a dog, let it hang around with the dog that's already trained. They'll learn really quick. So the first lease, we were only supposed to have it for like 6 months because the owner was like, "Look, I inherited this house from my grandmother, whatever. But, it takes forever to get the permits and zoning, the stuff I want to do. So you guys can stay here for 6 months." That turned into like damn near 3 years. But when it came, it was shocking because I was about to pay rent. He's like, "Oh no, man. Actually, I just got my permits." And he had a son who was around, coming at 18, 19, just wanted to live there. So I was like, "Hey," it was a sad day though. Sad day. We had one more, little get together there. But one of the funnest places I ever lived. And I'm gonna again, this will be a series. I'll do more on the Mr. T's Bowls in Highland Park, one of my favorite places to play. La Estrella, the taco stand. Um, really cool stuff. There was an art walk too that went down Figueroa, then you turn left on York, and there was all these art. They had like a little bus or shuttle, and you could meet. I mean, granted, we just walked. We never got on the shuttle, but they give away food and wine, and we just hit them all, and then in back up at our place. Hey, good times. And it's kind of an area where you can walk. I mean, everything's on Figueroa or York. So everybody's just kind of walking around. Like, it's cool. Because in LA, it's not, you don't want to walk in certain places. Like in LA, this is, a lot of stuff going on and traffic. And Highland Park, you could just like, hey, I used to love to get up. It was always sunny. Get up, hit the La Estrella, get a couple tacos in me, go down to this like, it wasn't a 99-cent store. It was a smaller, everything's $1. And I'd get these Mexican energy drinks. You get 2 for $1 back then. And that's actually what they had royal jelly in it. Royal jelly is amazing. Really good for you. And so my tacos, 2 energy drinks, and my day, I'm off. I'm ready to go. Start my day. And that's when people start to get up and people are like, coming around, and the library that they have a bomb library, and it's big. And I love to read and hit the library, plan what's going to happen that night. Most of the time I didn't have to, people were just coming by here and there coming. But it has changed. I mean, I know that they redid Mr. T's Bowl. The little cave is gone. That's another great bar. Called it the Bat Cave. They would set the bar on fire every night. It was amazing. Dark in there. And they would let bands do like bum rush shows, like literally come in with like either acoustic guitars or like strapped on like battery amps and just right in the crowd do like a 3 to 5 song set, like right in the midst of everybody. And I saw the Mormons. Matter of fact, the Mormons, I played with the Mormons a few times at Mr. T's Bowl, and they dressed like Mormon. You know how the Mormons are. They were way before their time, I guess. But once I was in Highland Park, I actually even knew people that then they figured out like, hey, where you been? Yeah, I'm in Highland Park. And they would tell me like, I'm from Highland Park. Like they didn't even tell me some like OG LA cool creative people, band guy. I'm like, Highland Park? You're from Highland Park? I'd run into the guys from Armored Saint, this like rock band from the 80s, at the taco stand. And I didn't know who they were, just like, hey, what did you order? Oh, there you are again, kind of thing. I think his name was Ralph. He was a guitarist in Armored Saint. He's like, bro, there you are. Hey, check this out. I just got my guitar, my custom made guitars from ESP. They're like sponsoring me again or whatever. And we went to his car and he popped the trunk. We're like, oh my God, ESP, huh? What? Hook me up. Let me get one of these pointy looking, Floyd Rose equipped, which is not really my style, but hey, I've got one guitar with a Floyd Rose on it, and it's actually a neck through custom made like Junior. Matter of fact, it's a monster. And the Floyd actually stays in tune pretty good, but I've got it set more like a Bigsby. It's not like, I'm not doing all that. It's just more like wow, wow. But I'm not really a Floyd guy. And I will miss Echo Park. I hope they write that book. I hope they're at least writing the book. And I'll, if they are, I'll totally comply. You got my, my wishes. I'd love to read it. And yeah, the Echo House. I'm gonna miss you, Echo House. And again, like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, it's in the description. Go to Zelle. I know lately I've been saying Zelle. I don't even know why. Like Zelle, hey, hook me up. So go in the description. It's Zelle. Zelle is in your app, in your phone. You can just like send money. Just put my name, email, bam, boom. Because this is what I'm doing. This is what I do now. I know it don't look like much. And quite honestly, it's probably the worst podcast in the history of podcasts. However, nobody's really watching, so they won't know. They won't know that I'm doing the worst podcast in the history of podcasting. Anywho's it. Like, share, subscribe. You want to support the channel, go to Zelle. And later on today, at around 4:30 Central Time, I'm going to be live streaming the UFC prelims, which should be, we'll just see how that goes. But yeah, that's it today. It's Saturday. I don't even know what day it is. Somewhere in May, maybe the 7th or 8th. So if you do want to look around 4:30 today, I'll be live streaming those prelims. And if I don't see you later on today, I will see you tomorrow. I love y'all. Be blessed. And cheers.